video, we are going to make a twisted garter stitch headband. So to get started, we're going to tie a slip knot. And remember that for all of these different skills, there are videos on the site to show you how to do it. So this, we're just going to wrap around, reach under, get that tail yarn, and pull it up to make a knot. And you just put that around your needle, pull the ends together, tight but not crazy tight. And then get ready to knit. So to do a knit stitch, your two needles go parallel. You reach your right needle up into the stitch behind the left. You wrap the yarn counterclockwise around this right needle. So counterclockwise, and you pull it through the loop on the left needle. And then when doing the continental cast on, you just pull it out a little bit, but keep your loops on both needles. Your left hand needle then comes down and underneath to add to the stitch on the right needle, and then you are ready for your next stitch. You have now cast on 2. So again, your yarn goes counterclockwise around the needle on the right. You pull the stitch through, pull it out a little bit. Yarn on your left needle comes down to pick up that stitch from underneath. And now you're set up for your next knit stitch with the right hand needle behind the left hand needle sharing the stitch. So again, you're just going to keep doing that until you have 12 stitches for this headband. Seven, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 stitches on my left needle. So now I'm ready just to knit my first row. I've already got my right needle set. Again, wrap around counterclockwise, but this time I'm going to scooch that stitch off the left hand needle. So again, you go in just like we were doing, wrap counterclockwise, but now you're going to take your right hand needle and you're just going to slide that stitch off the left needle. You're going to do that all the way across. And then when you get to the end, you simply turn and keep knitting. And that's how you do the garter stitch. So when we get to the end, we'll just look at how to make sure you didn't twist your yarn around. Okay, so here are my stitches. Again, as a reminder, you might want to stop here and count. Make sure you still have 12. Then you turn your work. And again, your yarn has to be coming off the back like this, and off the back and underneath. So not like this where it's up on the top and you get an extra stitch here, but around the bottom. And then you just keep knitting. You want to go until you have an inch less than the circumference of your head. So most women's heads are about 22 inches, so you're looking for 21 inches. And you just continue to knit, 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 turn, knit, 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 and do that until you have 21 inches. Okay, so now I have finished my rows and I have 21 inches of my headband. The next step is just to do a regular bind off. So if you remember how to do that, you just start with a knit stitch, knit one, and then knit one more, and then pull the right stitch on your right needle up over the left stitch that's on your right needle, and now you're down to 1. Knit one more, then you have 2 stitches, and again you take that right stitch on your right hand needle and you pull it over the left stitch and off so that you just have one on the right hand needle. And you're going to continue to do that all the way across. So you're taking all of those live stitches off the right hand needle. Oops. All right, here's the last one. End up with one left. So now I'm going to cut off about 10 to 12 inches of yarn and then pull that loop up a little bit. And I'm actually going to take that end yarn and pull it all the way through. So now what you want to do is you want to take the two ends and fold each of them in half, okay, like this. And then you're just going to sandwich them together until you have like a little, well, sandwich, okay? And then you're going to thread your yarn. Whoops, I should have done that first. Thread my yarn into my yarn needle. And you're just going to stitch that closed. Okay, so I have my little sandwich back. I'm just going to stitch through all of those layers, kind of as a whip stitch. So you just keep going the same direction every time. Oops. You kind of want them, your little loops around to lay on top of your work. So I'm going to make sure I kind of hold with my finger. All the way to the end. And our last step is really just to sew in those final ends. I'm going to do an extra one right here at the end. And then when you have that last loop, I just circle my needle around twice and pull it out. And pull it down, and that gives you a good knot. So when we turn that right side out, and after we sew the ends in, then we have this nice little twist to the headband. So as I mentioned, the final step is just to thread those ends in, and this doesn't have to be hard. Because this has a clear front and a back, so nobody's going to see this back part anyway. I usually go once one way, and then I circle back around, and I go the other way. So come all the way out. Trim that one off. And this one. I also want to make sure this is on the back of my work, so I'm just going to poke it through. And then same thing. Slip it through once, circle back around, slip it through again, cut it off. There we go. And there you have your twisted garter stitch headband.